Hi everyone, this is my final for COM420 where I'm going to be discussing how institutionalized media has affected North Korea. Prior to the Kim dynasty, media wasn't popularly discussed within the country and it wasn't really widely known about, and there was really a lack of knowledge as far as how media worked. And media really came into play when the Kim dynasty began because the Kim dynasty turned North Korea into a communist country where it was run by a government whose goal was institutionalization. In this, they decided to restrict media, and the goal of communism was for them to brainwash all of their citizens into believing that there is no life better than where they already live and that they must always support their leader, who are in the Kim dynasty. Internet is essentially non-existent within North Korea. They do have their own private domain, which is separate from what we have here in America. Websites ending in .com, .net, .org. Those are things that we have here and other places in the world. But theirs is a .kp, and that is privately owned by North Korea, where they only stream stuff that is approved by their government. And the access is limited because the internet can obviously only be used by people that own computers. In North Korea, it's really hard to buy a computer because it costs the same as 3 months of income for the average citizen. So really the only people in the country that have access to the media via the internet are going to be the government, students at elite universities, and then also people that are involved with cyber intelligence stuff. And so other than that, there is no access to the internet, and the only access to the news that the citizens have are going to be through their televisions, where channels have already been pre-programmed by the government, and they don't have options to watch anything else that hasn't already been approved. Now, as far as televisions go, they decided this is not something they really liked, and they also decided that after the fall of the country a few decades ago, before the Kim dynasty was formed, and there was over 1 million people that died, they decided that it was time for them to establish a new market where they can experience trade internationally, and this is where they began discovering that they could have access to USB drives and also DVD players that were brought in from China and other countries that are local to them. This means something new to them because they've never had access to DVD players, and this allows them to watch movies that aren't necessarily approved by the government. Now, all this stuff is illegal, and if they are caught, they do face jail time, and they could potentially be put to death for this kind of thing, but some people are deciding to risk it. The significant event that I decided to discuss in this paper is not necessarily an event that actually happened in North Korea, but it's something that really put North Korea into the news in regards to their human rights issue. It was brought to the United Nations attention a couple years ago that there was an issue with the human rights and how poorly the citizens were being treated. So finally, last week actually, the United Nations came together with the Security Council and decided that they were going to hold a vote on whether or not they should bring North Korea to the International Criminal Court and charge them based on their lack of human rights and the mistreatment of their citizens. Because they're calling this the North Korea communism community, similar to Nazis in Germany, and it's about that severity. So this is really what's bringing North Korea into the international eye, because so many countries strongly believe that North Korea needs to be punished for the way that they're treating their citizens. Now, this isn't, like I said, necessarily happening in North Korea because it's such a secret country and They don't allow any information in or out. It's really hard to determine what's actually happening over there. And there's also no campaigns because the government believes that they should brainwash their citizens and that they're going to tell them what to believe versus them having their own opinions. Therefore, there's nothing to campaign about. So, as far as the event goes, the United Nations does have a strong influence on North Korea, and this decision to send them to the International Court, the International Criminal Court, could really shape their future and could potentially be the end of the Kim dynasty.